from being one of the most controversial fighters in the UFC to bringing in the most number of viewers to its events. There's a reason why Conor McGregor is often considered the best his opponents will get, and here we go again with Colby Covington.
Spinning back fist. Gets the knockdown for Covington.
Now, ever since the Irishman announced his comeback, many fighters have expressed their desire to fight him, some out of spite, and some who actually see him as one of the biggest challenges in modern-day UFC.
And smiling. Oh no! He slapped him! Conor McGregor is the new UFC featherweight champion of the world!
McGregor, who's fought in the featherweight and lightweight classes throughout his career, has been on a long break, a break that he had to take after the unfortunate incident in his last fight against Dustin Poirier. It was already bad enough that the game was slipping out of his hand, but then the worst possible thing happened. His ankle snapped out of place, and everyone saw it bend live on the screen.
I mean, that's crazy that happened.
One of the
Look
most.
at that. Look at he actually broke his.
As painful as it was to see, I'm sure it was nothing compared to what McGregor felt, and it's been almost 2 years since that happened. But the question remains, how has Colby Covington gotten into the picture upon McGregor's return to the octagon? Well, the answer is simple. McGregor is upgrading his weight class, so that means that he'll be stepping out of his comfort zone and will look into a bigger challenge. Quite literally, in the welterweight division. He's actually even announced now that he's going to be fighting Michael Chandler as his first welterweight challenge. But a new division calls for a plethora of new challenges, and if you're still wondering, that's where Covington comes in. The guy's fought as a welterweight fighter throughout his career, so it's safe to say that he knows a thing or two about it. And of course, if McGregor's entering his territory, there's bound to be some friction. And so, in classic fashion, Chaos went forward to insult the heck out of McGregor. It's not that obvious at first, but surely it's all meant to sting the new guy. During a post-fight press conference at UFC 286, Colby Covington shared his opinion on Conor McGregor's current state in the sport. According to him, McGregor's prime years are behind him, and he doesn't possess the same level of motivation he once had when he first started his career.
You know, Conor's done some great things in this sport. You know, he's a great fighter, but, you know, his time is passing. He's made a lot of money, so he just doesn't have that same hunger and same drive that he used to when he first started fighting.
Despite this, Covington expressed interest in fighting the former two-division champion. By the way, what's that about, huh? If you don't think the guy's worth a fight, why bother engaging in the first place? Well, lucky for you, he's got an answer for that as well. Covington thinks that a matchup between him and McGregor would generate a lot of revenue for the UFC. He emphasized this point by highlighting his ability to draw attention to events, unlike other fighters who lack charisma and popularity among fans.
Ready to fight today, I'm ready to fight tomorrow. I stay ready to fight. So, you know, if Conor wants to fight one day and do business, you know, it's probably the biggest fight the UFC would ever do.
You might beg to disagree, and so do I. But what can you do about what someone else thinks, right? And to be really fair, Covington's actually already in form and good to go right this second. The proof of that is the fact that at UFC 286, he was officially named as a backup fighter for the headliner, the one featuring Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. Yes, exactly that one. But as much as he might have wanted to fight, or his fans did, nothing of that sort happened, as the match went ahead without any issues. So you could say that, in a way, Chaos has actually got stored energy begging to be released. But that's just me trying to sound very descriptive. One thing is for sure, as much as he might want to belittle McGregor, it's all clear that he's not shying away from chasing that sweet money. On the other hand, McGregor isn't taking any of this very easy either. He's preparing for his return to the UFC for as long as I can remember, ever since his initial bedridden days for his injury recovery. It doesn't seem like he's been taking any days off. It's all on his socials where he's posted his progress all throughout. And with a scheduled fight against Michael Chandler later this year, it's all coming back into place. But just in a completely new flavor, where you've never seen him as jacked as he is right now. Although the details of the event, such as the date and location, are yet to be confirmed. So it's a long way before Covington gets a shot, because later this year would definitely mean at the earliest earliest a couple of months from now. And then there's the post-match rest and recovery, so it's all going to take a lot of time for him to get to his next fight. Although I must mention that McGregor has already wrapped up filming for season 31 of The Ultimate Fighter, the same show where Chandler too served as one of the coaches alongside him. So it's clear that there's not much up on his schedule when it comes to commercial projects. Now, while Chandler may think that his fight against McGregor may be the biggest in MMA, we'll just have to wait and see if that is true.
I got one dude on my mind. Conor McGregor, you gotta come back and fight somebody. I am the most entertaining lightweight on the planet, but I want to up the stakes, Conor. I want you at your biggest, I want you at your baddest, and I want you at your best.
Because first of all, we don't even know if the fight's ever going to happen. It's all talk for now, and we've seen many instances where that hasn't translated into something material. And secondly, I think that McGregor's going to be the guy who gets to control what the biggest MMA event is really going to be, not the other way around. There's no doubt that he's one of the most popular fighters in the league, if not the most, and his return after an absence of almost 2 years is bound to bring in an ocean of viewers. But how popular a McGregor versus Covington fight can be depends a lot on how his bout against Chandler goes. Unsurprisingly though, McGregor's as confident as he was in his prime. In a recent interview on the My Mom's Basement podcast, Conor McGregor expressed how confident he is to Robbie Fox. He talked about how he'd absolutely dominate in his upcoming fight against Michael Chandler. And not just that, he also thinks that Chandler's fighting style is not unique or something he hasn't encountered before in his career. I think we've had our fair share of trash talk coming from McGregor to know to take everything with a pinch of salt. Not as disrespect, but rather view it as something he does to hype up the fight as best he can. But all jokes aside, McGregor is convinced of his technical superiority over the former Bellator lightweight champion. So yes, this fight is a redemption for the Irishman more than anything else. It's his best shot at showing the world what he's best known for, putting on a show for everyone. So while we wait for him to fight Chandler, do not forget that the one next in line could very well be Covington. Whatever it may be, there's little you can do to convince Covington that he isn't the biggest fight McGregor's gonna get. No, really, he's even put a price on the event. During a recent interview with MMA Fighting on SBN, Colby discussed his potential fight against Conor McGregor, and of course, the financial success it could bring to the UFC. According to Covington, McGregor's star power and reputation in the UFC would be enough to sell the highest number of pay-per-views. That's something that I completely agree with him on. Not sure about the whopping $159,980,000 figure that he put across for the sales though, while he also believes that his coming face-to-face with McGregor is God's plan. Not sure where he's getting all these ideas, but if something gets even close to those numbers, it would be completely bonkers. And that's all on how a Colby versus Conor match could be the biggest MMA event ever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.